just do you.
Yep.
You don't need something to tell who you are. You can be anything you want if you just put your mind to it and just grow.
Yep.
And then when you grow and when you have kids, treat them right. Give them the wings they need. And then watch them surpass you so you can feel proud when you're old. And you can think back saying like, I did a good job. I did a good job. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Blue Sail channel.
Yep.
Today we'll be making a Barbie review. Dun
Yep.
dun dun. I know. It's come to this reviews. So we'll be reviewing the movie.
And give about our impression after we watch a Barbie movie. As you know, like this movie just like trending topic nowadays. You know, like a lot of people watching this movie because, yeah, I mean, for some people maybe they thought if this movie is really good. So, yeah.
And then after, we'll be making our opinion about Barbie cosplayers and Barbie food and everything like that. So stay tuned after the video. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up. And if you have more to say about our opinions, just leave a comment down below.
Without further ado, check it out.
But the first part of the Barbie movie was like, it opened up. And at this point, my expectations is like, it's just going to be a Barbie movie.
Yeah, same actually.
So it's just going to be in the Barbie world.
Yeah.
I have not seen any like trailers or anything. And I just like came in, it's like, everyone was like, oh, you should go and watch it. It's actually pretty alright. So like, I was like, yeah, alright, let's go and watch it. So I went in and it's like started off with like some sort of like weird like kids playing with like babies and acting like mothers, and then it's like the Barbies came along and then like exploded and like the kids smashed the babies. I don't know if I would say that, the kids smashed the babies. But they smashed the babies and like they got the Barbies and it was like really tall Barbie, isn't it? Yeah. And then it was saying like how Barbies thought they fixed everything, like, and that was so far from the truth. But because they're living in their own world,
and then she going out to real world, basically where human lives. Yes, and
so like they're completely like separate, and they think they've done all they can, and they're living their perfect lives every single day. And then like, of course, it opens up, and then it's like lots of Barbies. It's like, hello Barbie, hello Barbie.
Hi Barbie. They don't stop coming.
Hi Ken.
Hi Barbie.
Hi Ken.
Hi Ken.
That comes after, doesn't it? That comes a bit after. But like, hello Barbie, hello. They're all saying hello Barbie, and of course everything's make believe. So like the cups, like when they're like eating stuff, they just like tap it and like make like don't drink it, and it's like all of that stuff. And they float down, and they don't have to drive the car. They can just look out and say hello Barbie. And then like it got to the beach, didn't it?
Yeah.
So like and then like I guess the kind of protagonist came along. And then like he was Ken, and then he was like he feels jealous of all the other Kens talking to this one Barbie. He was like, and it's like he would say hello Barbie, and then like Barbie would say hello Ken, and then like everyone would say hello Barbie, and Ken would be like, what about me? What about me? He just feels so lonely, left out at this point. And you can just see it already. It's like instant like that, and it's like, well, something's gonna go up.
Well, what about the feminist things that you found out in the movie? Actually, just like, I mean, they spill some things about feminists, I guess.
Well, it's the Barbies are supposed to portray strength. So like they're being made to like build strength, so you could be whatever you want. If the Barbie's it, you should be it. So like if you dress your Barbie as a nurse, you should become a nurse or something like that. It's kind of like try and let your dreams come true rather than let your dreams be dreams. So like it's kind of like the do it meme, like just do it. But of course in reality it's a lot harder, and of course people, especially with the song, it's like a lot of different portrayed, and it went a bit like this, so like it's very sexualized.
Yes.
And it wasn't too well done, but this is what the movie is trying to portray in a way. But that comes a bit later in the movie. So like for now it's just like they're living their perfect lives, Poor Ken doesn't live his perfect life.
There's no stress out something else, right?
Yeah,
there's no depression actually in Barbie world.
He just wants appreciation
really
of Barbie.
Nice, yeah.
He just wants appreciation. So it goes on. So there's two Kens that like got more screen time than all the other Kens. There's like the Ken that like kind of like laughs at this Ken like for failing like surfing because of course it's made of plastic, it's not real waste. And his job is what? His job is just beach.
Yep.
Stand on
A little too much beach for you, Ken. If I wasn't severely injured, I would beat you off right now, Ken.
the beach and that's it. Look cool. Stand on the beach, wave your hair, look snazzy. Chillax. So it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, actually, for me, just like out of my expectation actually, because like at first time I was like, oh, maybe just like about romantic things because it was Barbie, maybe just like a romantic story, but Barbie and Ken.
I might stay over tonight.
Why?
So girlfriend, boyfriend.
To do what?
I'm actually not sure.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's really different, and you know what? Like I found some comedy things. Well, it can make people laughing actually. So yeah.
Yeah,
I like
it did make me laugh a few times. In the
for me
beginning,
too,
yeah. And then like, of course, after like all of that, they went to the night and they had a party, and then like party, and then Barbie suddenly thought of death.
Yeah.
So she's like, Barbies, does anyone else think of dying? And the music just stopped. It just stopped, and everyone was just like, what? and then she was like, oh, and then she was quick to remember it's like dying to party all night, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, really, it was quite funny. But it went on to again Paul Ken portraying like how Barbie doesn't like Ken, but of course Ken only lives for Barbie. So like Ken was like, oh, can we like just like stay in the house together, just I don't know, sit down and stare at each other? And Barbie's like, it's but girls' night, so it shows you that she's just pushing Ken away, unfortunately, and Ken's like just kind of feeling down.
Yeah.
So it makes him it makes him feel bad, but you can't really do anything. So like they'll be living forever in the same pattern every single time. So you can imagine, even though they're like inanimate objects, they still have some sort of emotions, and I guess it just kept growing inside Ken permanently, and it's quite sad.
Yeah.
But the next day after that, Barbie just everything goes wrong for Barbie. Just like the first time, everything just goes wrong. Burnt toast, cold shower, tea tastes like it gone off. She's getting upset, and the worst thing happened to Barbie. She had flat feet. Flat feet.
Flat feet.
On the ground.
Like honestly, like if I saw flat feet in real life, no, I'm going the other way. I'm like, I'm gonna call someone up and be like, guys, we saw flat feet, and they would probably just scream. Flat feet's the worst thing that could possibly happen. So they had to call the ambulance of Barbie, like Nurse Barbie, or
it's kids, isn't it?
Yeah. So it shows you that like girls rule this place, the Barbies rule this place, and they grow. And it can be anything you want. So and then of course Barbie had to go to Strange Barbie.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we learned that like if people, like real people in the real world, plays with a Barbie,
choice.
like it affects the Barbie
in
the Barbie land.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't make sense, because if you think about it more like that, it's like there's so many people that would cut off heads of Barbies. Like, what happened to those? They just disappeared. Like, they just vanished. Like, so you got people playing with the Barbies, but it's just like one strange Barbie. So there's like one bad kid somewhere just like completely trashed the Barbie, but like everyone else is good apparently. But yeah, this one Barbie is like strange Barbie is like frizz hair, and she's looking weird. She's got a weird house, and she's got the dog that like poos out and eats poo, and then like it's quite weird.
Yeah.
I actually, as a kid, I remembered that being advertised, and I was like, what's this? And it's quite weird, but yeah. But then it went, so like this strange Barbie was like to this other Barbie saying like, okay, so you kind of like, there's someone in the real world that's vexing you like this, so you need to go to them and reassure them that everything's going to be fine. And so she was like, what? I don't want to do this. And she tried to do everything in her power not to go. So
because I think if she doesn't want to do that, it will happen to her legs. I guess like she can't wear high heels anymore or something like that.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Flat feet. That's why she has to go, because of the flat feet.
Yes.
Nothing else but the flat feet.
Yeah.
So
just like make women look perfect, especially like, you know.
yeah, I mean,
well, for me, I don't like wearing high heels.
Personally, I think wearing high heels is quite spooky, because they got a big stabby on the end of it. I'm like, whoa, don't stump on my feet like that. That'll hurt me. And like I don't know. I see everyone with just normal feet, and I'm like, that's fine. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not high heeled all the time. Like even out the shoes, you have to like walk on your tippy toes all day.
Yes, yes.
That's crazy. I've never seen anyone do that. So, but yeah, flat feet. But yeah, so the two Kens we're talking. I mean, I guess the Ken 1's the main one, and then Ken 2's like the more sassy. Like he's like kind of like his rival. So Ken 2 was like dared Ken 1 to go to Barbie and accompany her on the journey to the real world because Ken 1 said he was going to do it, and he's not doing it because of reasons that Barbie told him not to do it. But then Barbie in the car said, "Oh, I wish someone could accompany me." Bad words. If she didn't say that, maybe Ken 1 wouldn't have gone along. But she said that, and of course, the person that she least wants, Ken 1, unlucky Ken 1, like, is in the car. And Barbie's like, "Oh no!" So she flips out, literally, the car flips and lands. And then, like, of course, they work it out, and Ken 1's really happy because he bought his roller skates. So, and then they went on the journey, through all the journey, and then they got to the
real world.
Real world, yay!
It's like funny things because they wear like something with pink colors, you know, and it's like, oh, it looks colorful, and you just people just like staring at them, and then
So this could mean extremely weird things for our world. This would be.
So this is where like the bad things start happening to Barbie, and the good things start happening to Ken, because like Barbie gets out, and of course she looks like all the way down, like for people who's like really attractive. So they're really like trying to push that out, saying like this is how reality is. It's like, so every man is like going past her like doing that. One of them slaps her on the ass. It was crazy. Like I generally don't see that happening, but I guess it does happen, and it portrays that like, well, men being men, and how a woman feels towards that, because Barbie starts feeling insecure about herself because everyone's staring at her. And it portrays like, oh, maybe like even if like one little look by accident, it can make them feel awkward about themselves and all of that sort of things. So Barbie goes through getting awkward, and they had to change their clothes, like their looks and stuff, and they got arrested a few times because they didn't understand money and currency and all these things. And like, well, they like had a relation, like, what was it? They went to like, and they sat down and they just didn't know what to do, so they talked it out. And Ken went one way to find like one thing, and Barbie just sat down thinking.
She just confessed actually what she needed to do, and then like and Ken, he found like a lot of inspirations, a lot of things to do.
Because he's everywhere he saw is like men in power instead of women in power.
It's like men. It's like more dominantly, I think. It's like,
So like it's men in power. But this could also like be interpreted as like, this is how Ken is feeling like what women are feeling in the real world. So Ken is like getting discriminated against and stuff, getting pushed aside, and like all of this stuff, and all the women in power. But in the real world, it's like mostly men in power, and then there's still quite a long way to go for women to get what they deserve in a respected way. But that's what Ken's feeling. He's like looking at this reality that he didn't understand. It's like, so if you went to a different world and everyone there was like in Barbie land, it's like everyone's in power, girls completely rule the world, like there's no man at all.
Unfair, right?
It's just unfair. Either way, it's just unfair. It should just be like a 50-50.
Yes, it's just equality.
There shouldn't be any bad things about that. But like Ken, looking at this, was like, but they really pushed the idea that men rule the world, even though it's still a lot of women that's being respected these days, which is fortunate. So it starts going to the more of a mid stage now. So like this is like the middle of the movie where they're in the real world. So Ken is off doing his own things, and Barbie's sitting down at a bus stop, like just like closing her eyes, thinking of like, where's the person, the kid that I need to meet at. So she closes her eyes and she like feels like a wave of like emotions,
just like connect each other, right?
Connection. So memories of a past that's like happy, and then like a bit more sad, and then like more depressing. So Barbie closed her eyes.
Just live forever.
And another thing that this film portrays is about death. Age, and really like kind of growing up, and then of course eventually dropping off. So through like the mid part of the movie, Barbie looks to her right and she sees an old lady. And she says, She looks at her, and this Barbie gets this really emotional response, like saying like, "I've never seen someone this age before. You're so beautiful."
Yes.
Because like it's not because the skin is beautiful. It's because you lived your life up to that point, and you look at that, and you can see it in the eyes of the wisdom, and you can see it like really like in her, like you can just see how much she's been through, and that's what's beautiful. So Barbie looks at this old woman and says, "You're so beautiful," and then she was like, "I know I'm beautiful." And Barbie was like, just smiled, like doesn't know what to talk about now. And then of course Ken came rushing, and was like, "Barbie, Barbie, Barbie," and like Barbie's like,
Ken.
Yeah, Ken, and then like they both said something a bit different, but like Ken was like, "Oh, you say it," and let's go to school. And he's like, Ken's like, "Yes, let's do that." And they went to their school to meet this child, and unfortunately the child was the wrong person to choose, which is a bit later revealed. But Barbie went to this child in the school, and like she got shamed. She got completely shamed, and like saying like how Barbie sexualized everything, and like how women should look all the time.
Looks perfect.
Like perfect, but of course there's no such thing as perfect, and like that's how everyone felt about Barbie. It's like it's all sexualized and all of this stuff, which is bad, but of course was not really. It's just a bit weird, but of course like before this there was the tower, like. So I don't like these people, like the people in the tower. I don't like them. The man in the table, but it's based on like true things, because that's how like big companies look. It just looks like old men around a table, and it'd be like, and if someone was come to an idea, they had to go in and they had to like talk about their ideas to all these men, and they're all like really grumpy and stuff. Of course, these men right here are a bit more cheerful. They're a bit more like younger as well, but that's kind of like the base idea. I didn't like them because like they felt like plastic themselves. They didn't really feel human. They felt so disconnected from the world. I guess that's because it's like they're at the top of the tower. They just talk about Barbie stuff all the time. But of course they heard about Barbie being the real world, and they're like, "That's not good. That ain't good." And so they had to go down the tower, and then like of course go and find Barbie. So Barbie, being really like sad and stuff, meets these people like saying like, "Oh, Barbie," and like she's just crying, and they cheer her up, and they bring her in the car back to the tower. So they made her feel a bit more respected, and like took her home where I forgot what the company is called. Do you remember?
Which one?
The company.
Metal. If I'm not mistaken.
I think it's something I completely
metal.
just put the name here. Just put the logo here. That's it, right there. So they did that. But then, of course, on the sidelines, Ken completely realised that men are supposed to be in power, and there's like
the role as well, like Barbie was.
So men are like powerful, and like they just like if you just look at them, they're supposed to be cool, and like they have horses and
cool.
She whacks and like completely like cool. And then like of course Ken's like, "Wow, I need to tell every other Ken this information." So he goes back to Barbie world, and back to Barbie. She's like in the tower, and like these old plastic men, I'm gonna call them, are like, "But you should just get in a box." And they're like, they started getting really like annoyed. They're like, "Get in the box, get in the box." And it's like, oh, Barbie just like, because Barbie's already grown so much as a person. She's already had so much emotional growth that she's like, she can make her own choices. It's like, I'm not gonna get in a box. I'm just gonna go this way. I'm just gonna go out the door, and then they're like, "Okay, you can go to the toilet," and they're like, she's like, yeah, and then like, so when she went down the elevator instead, they're like, and then the men, of course, being men, they took 10 years to realise what she's done. So they went down, and then it comes to the really weird chasing of them doing this, like plastic dolls, and it's like, what? Why are they so stupid? Like they felt more fake than the actual Barbies. So that happened, and then of course Barbie went to this room, and she met another old woman, again representing age, wisdom, and that feeling of growth and disattachment. So Barbie met this old lady again. It was a different old lady, but she met him, and this represents again age and moving on. So but Barbie went out, and then she met like the family, and the real person that played with her and made her sad and depressed and everything, and they had an attachment, and then they went back to Barbie land. So this is the final part And what really happened? Oh, this was my favorite part of the film. It was my favorite.
They're fighting each other.
Yeah. So the plastic old men kind of didn't really play a part after this
Ken
part.
versus Barbie.
Yeah. So now they're back in Barbie Land, but it's a bit different. It's now Ken Land.
Yeah, not Barbie Land anymore.
Not Ken Land at the moment, but the Kens are going to vote for being Ken Land, and they completely weirdly they brainwashed every woman. I do not know what they're trying to say about this part. It was really weird. Like saying like men just brainwashed women completely like that. It's just kind of a bit more weird. It didn't really get like the things like that. So yeah, Ken's brainwashed Barbie. Barbie like came up with a plan in the end to like take all the Barbies, but what brought them back was also kind of weird. It's talking about like, well, being a mom and like being a woman saying, oh, all these things, all these like issues brought them back. And I was like, what are you trying to get at right here? I probably don't understand because, but yeah, I didn't understand too much or too well. But what really got me again was the part where age and emotional, because they did all this, and this made me a bit upset because it was the song. I liked the song.
Yeah, just like
the Ken song.
Yeah, just like
the Ken song was really good. Like he was singing about like how Barbie, like
feeling actually,
he's feeling like letting it go. But of course, it's funny because every single Ken is singing the same song.
Yeah, so, all of them are Ken actually.
So they're all singing the song, and then like they had a war, so it was Ken v Ken because the Barbies like made them turn against each other, and they're all singing the song in their heads basically. But of course, it's just showing Ken 1 and Ken 2 like being the main two people. But they fought it out, and then they started dancing together instead because they showed their pecs to each other, and they started dancing. And then they're
That's the funny thing.
yeah, and then of course at the end they're singing along. They rejoined back to being just Ken, and then they got along. But then they're like, oh no, and then they lost the war against Barbie because they realised they missed the day. To vote Ken Land instead of Barbie Land. So Ken was defeated, and well, he was upset, and he was like, and then like, but of course Barbie still doesn't like Ken. He doesn't like the Ken in that way. So she's like, you need to find out who you are. And Ken was like, took a few times
only have one.
to kind of get into his head. He's like,
who I am.
Who I am. I need to find myself instead of being Ken and Barbie. I should just be Ken. And go and find someone that actually respects me.
It's me.
Yeah, I should go and find someone that actually respects me. So Ken moves away, and he was free now from the shackles of just being happy in the eyes of Barbie, which is nice.
And what happened to Barbie in the end?
Well, this part actually made me cry because like the old woman.
This actually made me cry, to be honest.
Yeah. So the old woman came back and like. She was talking to Barbie, and she was like saying, "I made Barbie." So she's the founder of Barbie.
The first creatures of Barbie actually.
It was a woman. So she created Barbie, and like she was just saying like all these nice and like sad things. There's only like one thing I didn't really agree with. It's like I don't know, like this could be two interpretations that I took away. It's like the first interpretation when like she said like, I stood still so I could watch my child grow, saying like you stop growing as a person, or like you have to like completely make your child grow and stop where you are and do that. But I don't really agree with that one, so I think it's like the second one which I'm thinking of, like being like I seen how much I passed all my knowledge onto you, even though I'm still growing, I'm still passing all my love and knowledge onto you, like a child, and helping you grow and pushing you forwards so you can spread your wings into the real world. And watching the child grow is like the main thing. So you still don't like stand still, but you push them out the nest so they can go have a family and grow and get successful anything they want to do. So it was really nice and emotional, and Barbie chose to get old, to have memories, get old, maybe have kids of her own, the wisdom, and
try not only high heels. I think like in the end, she wears something like slippery, something like that.
So she doesn't need high heels. So throughout the story, of course, it's like a bit kids and a bit of adults, but in the end, it's just like it just tells you, just do you. You don't need something to tell who you are. You can be anything you want if you just put your mind to it and just grow. And then when you grow and when you have kids, treat them right, give them the wings they need, and then watch them surpass you, so you can feel proud when you're old. And you can think back saying like, I did a good job. I did a good job. And that's the story of Barbie
Yes.
and Ken.
Yeah. And the end, actually, we give like 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Yes. Of this
So
movie.
I actually really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, because of comedy and just like
It's just
emotionally, and then
it did
everything actually, just like really out of your expectation actually, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it was really good.
Okay, I think
That was it.
yeah, that's it.
That's our reaction to the movie, and I guess lots of spoilers, but
Yeah.
we put that in the description. So if you're watching this, you come to the end saying like, "You just spoiled the whole plot," and I'm like, "Well, it's in the description, or
Yeah.
like the title, or up here right now, spoilers right here at the end, spoilers alert." So thanks for watching, and I'll see you
On the next video.
That's it. Next video. High five. Let's go.
Ciao.